Namaskar, and a very warm welcome to all the viewers and learners who are watching us live in today's Gyan Darshan or teleconferencing session. I'm Dr. Geetika S. Johry, faculty at School of Vocational Education and Training, Indira Gandhi National Open University. Our today's session is basically for the learners of the Diploma in BPO Finance and Accounting program and for the learners of Certificate in Communication and IT Skills program who are really wanting to know the guidelines for the verbal and practical exams for courses BPO-I 006 and BPO-I 007 under the DBPO-FA and CCITSK program. So mainly learners, if you see both these exams, they are going to be held once you complete your theory examinations. So just to give you an idea of what the guidelines one needs to follow while you are going to appear for the exams. So this session is all about that. So before beginning to discuss about that, let me just give you an overview of the DBPO-FA and the CCITSK program. So basically both are innovative programs in the open and distance learning mode. The DBPO program and the CCITK program, they are targeted towards undergraduates, graduates and working professionals. They ensure imbibing key skills related to finance and accounting in the BPO industry. The courses in English, it will help to improve the communications of the learners in the areas of listening, speaking, reading and writing. As far as the course on IT skills is concerned, it makes the learner competent in IT skills in the areas of MS Word, MS Excel, MS Access, and MS PowerPoint. It provides opportunity for the students across India to develop their professional career, to be eligible for employment in the growing BPO industry, and last but not the least, it incorporates a unique blend of theory and practical courses. Now let us have a look at the program structure. So learners, we are talking about two different programs, the Diploma in BPO Finance and Accounting program and the Certificate in Communication and IT Skills program. So under the DBPO-FA program, this entire program is divided into two semesters, Semester 1 and Semester 2. Semester 1 has courses under Finance and Accounting, which are BPO-I 101, Introduction to Finance and Accounting BPO, BPO-I 102, which is Fundamentals of Accounting, BPO-I 103, which is Procure to Pay, which is also called as P2P or Accounts Payable, BPO-I 104, which is Order to Cash, which is also called as O2C and Accounts Receivable, and the last course under Semester 1 is BPO-I 105, which is Record to Report or R2R. Now moving on to the Semester 2. Semester 2, we have two courses, English Communication or Communication Skills and IT Skills. Now, as you can see from the slide, the DBPO program offers both these courses under Semester 2, and these two courses are also offered under a standalone program under Certificate in Communication and IT Skills. So you can see that seeing the program structure, the two courses are BPO-I 006, which is English Communication or Communication Skills. It has a verbal component also, BPO-I 006P. Similarly, for the course BPO-I 007, which is IT skills, it has theory as well as a practical component. You can see the course code BPO-I 007P. So you can see that here we have mentioned that the fees has to be paid for theory papers, all the theory papers, for the verbal exam as well as for the term and practical examination. Now, what is the weightage of the final results in the grade card once you complete your examinations? So your the weightage of the final results in your grade card will be reflected in such a way. For the courses under Semester 1 in the DBPO-FA program, courses BPO-I 101 to BPO-I 105, weightage of theory exams is 70% and weightage of assignments is 30%. You have to pass with a minimum pass mark of 40%. That means in theory exams also you have to score minimum 40%, as well as in the assignment also you have to score 40%. Similarly, let us have a look at the weightage of the final results in the grade card as far as courses under Semester 2 is concerned, which is offered under the DBPO program Semester 2 and as a standalone program under the CCITSK program. So here we can see that the components are also including the verbal and practical components. Now, if we see the first course BPOI 006, the weightage of theory exams is 65% and the weightage of your practical examination, or what we call as the verbal examination, is 15%. Then weightage of continuous evaluation or assessment in the form of assignments is 20%. Now, for the course BPOI 007, we have a weightage of 50% as far as your theory is concerned, weightage of 30% as far as your practical exam is concerned, and weightage of 20% as far as your assignment is concerned. Again, you have to pass with at least 40% marks in each of the components, be it theory, your practical, or your verbal examination. Now, learners, let us have a look at the practical aspects. Our main session today is on the practical aspects related to the course BPOI 006, which is English Communication or Communication Skills, and BPOI 007, which is IT Skills. Now, let us have a look at briefly the syllabus firstly of course BPOI 006. Now, this entire course BPOI 006 has been divided into 8 different blocks. So, block 1 is on social skills in business communication. It has 4 units starting from greetings and introduction, importance of small talk in business, language and culture, business etiquettes. Moving on to block 2, which is on telephone conversation, we have again 4 units, features of telephone conversation or communication, making arrangements and appointments, leaving and taking messages, voicemail, video conferencing, and conference call, or also called as con calls. Block 3 is on business correspondence. Here we have 5 units. The units are modes of communication, internal business correspondence 1, internal business correspondence 2, external business correspondence 1, external business correspondence 2. Now moving on to block 4, which is on customer service. Here it has got 6 units. First unit is types of customers. The next unit is essentials of customer service. Then is ownership and accountability, handling complaints, rapport building and probing, and empathy, and last is probing. Block 5 talks about presentation. Here this entire block has been divided into 4 blocks. The block on presentation skills, as I mentioned, has 4 units. The first unit is presentation skills 1, which talks about essentials of presentation skills, that why is presentation skills important. The next unit talks about presentation skills 2, which basically throws light on the different outlines and structures which one can use while making a presentation. Then the next unit is presentation skills 3. This will give you an idea about using of visual aids when you're making a presentation, how the visual aids can be used, this is this entire unit on that. And then the last unit under block 5 is presentation skills 4, that how to end the presentation. That means the ending. Now, learners, let us move on to block 6, which is on meetings. This has been divided into 4 units. The first unit talks about setting the agenda and planning the meeting. The next unit talks about the different types of meetings. We have, different types of meetings in the organization and companies, like general meeting, annual general meeting, or extraordinary general meeting. There can be some interim meetings. So this has been all discussed in this block under meetings and in the unit under types of meetings. Then we have another unit which talks about conducting and participating in a meeting, part 1 and then part 2. Moving on to block 7 under this course on communication skills, we have cross-cultural communication. Learners, since we are talking about the BPO industry, so our clients also are foreign clients. So we need to understand the kind of cross-culture, exchange, what is going on between the countries where you are working or where you have outsourced your particular service or business. So here this particular unit has been divided into 4. The first is communicating across cultures. Next is traveling on business. The third unit talks about communication in BPO, and then the last unit under block 7 is ability to say no. Now coming on to the last block under the course on English and communication skills, that is course code BPOI 006. This block talks about getting ready for a job. Now learners, our main objective of offering this program is just not giving you knowledge, but also preparing you for the job market. So here, we have divided this entire block into 5 different units. First is preparing you for the job, how to write your curriculum vitae, that is CV. Then it's portfolio making. How will you make your portfolio? Then preparing and facing interview, whether the interview is a phone call interview, whether it is walk-in interview or any other kind of interview. And then last but not the least, group discussions. Now, learners, let us have a look at mainly the practical aspects. We have just discussed the syllabus which is being offered under the course BPOI 006, which is English Communication. Now, you would be wanting to know that how are we going to assess you as far as practical or verbal is concerned. Now, of course, we are going to assess you as far as the theory exam is concerned. All the 8 blocks will be covering all your theory aspects. And even for the practical aspect, the same will be, the entire 8 blocks will be covering your practical as well. So when we're talking about course BPOI 006, we have a verbal examination for you, which is also called as a Viva. So what do you understand what do you mean by a Viva? Viva voce, is an oral or verbal examination which consists of a dialogue between the examiner and the student, where the examiner asks questions and the student replies. So it is a two-way communication. The student has to answer the question in such a way so as to demonstrate sufficient knowledge of the subject to pass the exam. Literally, when we talk about in the literal meaning, what does viva voce mean? It means the living voice, that is by word of mouth as opposed to writing. So the Viva exam is where you will be given a verbal knowledge or presentation of your learned skills in the areas of topic development, your grammar, your vocabulary, your pronunciation, your fluency, your intonation, your accent, and your paraphrasing. So you will be assessed on all these parameters when we are going to conduct the verbal examination for you. Now let us have a look at how this verbal exam will be conducted for the learners. We've just discussed the format of how it is going to be taken up for all the students who will be coming for the examination. Basically, we can say that Viva examinations are conducted in different forms, in different ways, but just for a general information and the general points which will be useful for you as a learner, we have laid down certain guidelines which will help you in your verbal examination. So how will the verbal examination begin for you? The exam will begin with a warm-up kind of an activity where once you enter the venue of your examination, the examiner will ask you to sit down. They will ask your name. They will ask you the venue of your, the journey. How was your journey? Like, was your journey relaxing or was your journey, taxing? Did you enjoy reading the course, our course on communication skills? So this is just to make you feel comfortable, just to make you feel at ease, just to make you feel relaxed, so that it's not like just you've entered the venue of the examination and they start asking questions to you. It's not like that. First, we have to make the learner feel in a very comfortable position so that they can then further go in for the viva voce. So then the examiner, what will happen? They will ask you to speak, prepare on some topic, and the topic obviously will be from the study material. As we've discussed the syllabus, you have just seen in the previous slides, we just discussed the syllabus with you. So the topics which the examiner can ask questions, it can be related to the topic or any kind of general information related to the workplace. So there are different topics which we have mentioned here. They talk about favorite role model. It can be who is your favorite role model. Then they can ask you to prepare on the topic like different types of customers. Again, you can see this is from the study material. Then what are the essentials or key features of presentation skills? How do you prepare for a job? Importance of time management at workplace, how useful is English in your life, what is body language, how can you use it effectively, what is the difference between telephonic conversation and face-to-face conversation, and what are some of the best practices in letter writing. So these are just some of the examples of the different topics which we have given to you, where the examiner can ask you to prepare on the topic for viva voce. Now this entire process will take about 10 to 15 minutes, or not more than 10 minutes. So how does it go about? So once the topic is given to the learner or to the student, they will be asked to prepare on the topic for about 2 to 3 minutes. Then the students will be called separately. Maybe if there are 2 3 students sitting in the same room, student X will be given a particular topic, student Y will be given a particular topic, and student Z will be given a particular topic. Then the students will be asked to prepare on those topics for about 2 to 3 minutes. The students will be called separately, and they will be asked to make a presentation on their topic in the face to face mode. So in that case, they have to speak extempore on whatever topic has been assigned to them. Then during the course of this, there is going to be an interaction between the student and the examiner, where the examiner will, maybe or may not be, they will try to interact with the student by asking some questions related to the topic. So again, this will take about 2 minutes. This entire exercise may take about 2 to 3 minutes. So we can say that the whole process, right from the warming up of exercise to the interaction with the examiner, and in between you have topic preparation, you have to present the topic, then there is going to be interaction with the examiner. So this will not take more than 10 to 12 minutes, or 10 to 15 minutes. So during this time, the evaluators or the examiners, they are going to assess the students on the basis of certain assessment grid. Now what is this assessment grid? They are going to evaluate you on the basis of that assessment grid. So this is the kind of the assessment grid on the basis of which each of the student or each of the learner will be assessed. Here you can see that we have mentioned about the parameters. There are around 8 parameters. Topic development is one, grammar is another, vocabulary is another parameter, accent is another parameter, pronunciation, fluency, intonation, and paraphrasing. And here we have given the scores right from 0.1 to 0.5, which means if a student maybe some student his topic development has been average, so he will be evaluated, or he will be given 2 points. Similarly, if his vocabulary was very good, he will be given 4 points. If his pronunciation was good, he will be given 3 points. So we can say on the basis of these 8 parameters, each of the students will be evaluated by the evaluator, and the maximum points which can be given, we can see excellent is 5. So 8 into 5 means 40 marks to a particular learner. But that rarely happens, because there are so many things. Nobody can be perfect in topic development, or grammar, or vocabulary, or fluency. But the maximum marks which can be given to a learner as far as this verbal exam is concerned, it's going to be 40. And these 40 marks are going to be scaled down to 15%. If you recall the weightage, in the weightage we have given that the verbal exam will carry a weightage of 15%. So these 40 marks out of 40, whatever marks the students have scored, they will be scaled down to 15, and that is how your verbal exam will be assessed. I hope learners, you are clear with the course on BPOI 006, which is on communication skills. Now learners, let us move on to the next course, BPOI 007, which is on IT skills. Now this also, as I mentioned, also has a practical aspect. Now this entire course on BPOI 007 has been divided into 7 blocks. 6 blocks are related to your theory, and the 7th block is a practical manual. So there are 2 manuals, Lab Manual 1 and Lab Manual 2. Now the first block is on introduction to computers, and what we have tried to cover in this particular block is introduction to PC, storage organization, input output devices, software, and introduction to database management system. So block 1 under the course BPOI 007 IT skills covers 5 units, and these are the 5 units which it is covering. Block 2 has 3 units. block 2 is on software security and antivirus. So what are the three units which are being covered under block 2? We have information security concerns, we have software vulnerabilities, and we have network security and authentication. Then moving on to block 3, which is on web based technologies. So this basically covers three of our units: internet and overview, concepts of web browsers, and internet search. So we can see block 3 covers 3 units. Then the next block is on introduction to MS Office, which is block 4. So here we are covering MS Word and MS PowerPoint. Block 5 talks about MS Excel basics. Here we have tried to cover 5 units. What are the 5 units? Working with worksheets, formatting and editing, formulae and functions, sorting and filters, file handling. Then comes block number 6, which is on advanced MS Excel and basics of MS Access. Here we are covering 4 units. And what are the 4 units? Working with multiple sheets and workbooks, working with tables and charts, protecting and printing your worksheets, and basics of MS Access. Now, the last block is a practical manual, and this has been divided into two. So, basically, there are two lab manuals, Lab Manual 1 and Lab Manual 2. Uh, these lab manuals, this will be a kind of a practice which you have to do in the study centers, hands on. And talking about block number, the lab manual 1, this has been divided into three different units. The first unit talks about install operating window Linux system, where we are going to give you an idea of how to install the different operating window or Linux systems. Block 2 talks about word processing. Now, this unit describes the various typing and editing features, including autocorrect, auto text, which speed up the text entry. So the unit describes the various page designs and layout features, the table creations and handling. All that has been discussed in this particular unit on word processing. Now, moving on to unit 3, it is on spreadsheets. So this unit on spreadsheets, we will be using the MS Excel, which is window based spreadsheet program. We know that Excel is used to automate financial statements, business forecasting, transaction registers, inventory control, accounts receivable, accounts payable. It provides, we can say, multiple facilities like making drafts, analyzing situations, and it also helps people at the managerial level in taking decisions. So this is all what has been covered under Lab Manual 1. Now, moving on to Lab Manual 2. Again, this Lab Manual 2 has been divided into three different units. The first unit talks about the presentation tools. So here we will focus on Microsoft PowerPoint. It explains the process of working with Microsoft PowerPoint and discusses the ways of customizing and presentation using Microsoft PowerPoint. Unit 2 talks about databases. Here it will focus on Microsoft Access, explains the process of working with Microsoft Access. Then the process of creating a database has also been discussed in this particular unit. That interconnectivity, as we know, is very important as a subject. So the process of using Microsoft Access as backend and Microsoft Visual Basic as front end has also been explained in this particular unit 2 on databases. And the last unit under Lab Manual 3 is Internet and its applications. So this unit introduces you to Telnet, the FTP, the Gopher, the different web browsers, the search engines. So the process of giving email and participating in chat session all has been explained in this particular unit 3. Now, learners, again, you would be wanting to know what type of questions will be, you will be asked in the term and practical examination. Again, let us see what are the important things one needs to know. First of all, the exam will be conducted in the offline mode. That means you have to be present in person at the examination center and you have to perform there hands-on. There will be a question paper which will be provided to the students where they have to attempt 5 questions out of 6 questions. There will be 6 questions. Out of those 6 questions, you have to do any 5 questions. Each of the question will carry 20 marks. Then students will be required, as I mentioned, they will be required to perform hands-on practical on the computer machine, which will be related to the questions asked in the question paper. So even when we're talking about the question paper, it is going to be related to your lab manual. Whatever you have learned in the lab manual or whatever you have learned in your classroom, whatever practice you have done in the practical sessions, all that will be asked, in this term and practical examination. Then, as we've mentioned, that the questions will be in the form of preparing a PPT, or you will be required to prepare a PPT, or you will be required to prepare some slide on some topic. You will be given questions on mail merge. You will be given questions on drafting a letter. If you're using, MS Word, how you will draft a letter, so on and so forth. Prepare a graph on Excel sheet and things like that. So, learners, this is what we have discussed about the two courses under the guidelines which are related to the verbal and practical examination under the Diploma in BPO Finance and Accounting program and Certificate in Communication and IT Skills program. Now, for the benefit of the learners, also I want to tell, many of a time we get queries that when will the practical exam will be conducted. So learners, we know that in the month of IGNOU conducts examination, the theory examinations in the month of June and December. So immediately once the theory examination get over in the month of June and December, immediately after 1 month, the practical examinations will be conducted. So, for example, if the June examination is happening, then the practical examination will be conducted in July. Similarly, if the December examination is theory examinations are being conducted, then naturally the practical examinations will be conducted in the month of January in the next year. So, obviously, again, I want to just reiterate that you have to pay the examination fees for the theory courses as well as for the term and practical examination and for the verbal examination. For the students, who will be appearing or who are appearing for June examination, the practical date sheet has been uploaded on the IGNOU website. Please visit the IGNOU website homepage. Under the announcements or under the alerts, the schedule for the term and practical examination has already been uploaded. Also, as program coordinator, we have shared with you in your emails both the schedule for the theory examination as well as for the term and examination. I hope, learners, today's session has been useful to you. It has been informative to you, and the kind of queries you were wanting to know regarding conduct of verbal examination and term and practical examination in courses BPO-I 006 on English communication and BPO-I 007 under the IT skills, which are being offered in two different programs under the Diploma in BPO Finance and Accounting program, semester 2, and under the CCITSK program, which is a standalone program. I think so we have discussed all the information related to you. If you have any queries, you please write to us. Our email address is geetikajahry@ignou.ac.in. Thank you, learners, and happy learning. Namaskar.
Do you wish to be part of a television studio like this or any other media system? Or already part of any media system, want to enhance a new set of skills? Welcome to School of Journalism New Media Studies. Here in the School of Journalism New Media Studies, we are offering program for all set of people to learn and enhance the media skills. The vision of School of Journalism and New Media Studies is to generate a new set of professionals in the area of media and communication studies with understanding about role of media in the national development and global understanding. We offer innovative programs in the field of journalism and mass communication that sets the benchmark of high quality learning and teaching process at the national level. We offer these programs across the country with the help of our regional network as well as study center. Same manner, many of our programs are offered through online mode with a sophisticated learning management system. SOGNMS offers programs from PhD in journalism and mass communication till certificate level. We have masters in journalism and mass communication. The eligibility is a bachelor's degree, and we are introducing this program in 3 languages: Hindi, Tamil and English. Students from national and international students can join either through online mode as well as in the distance mode. We have 4 postgraduate diploma programs, specialized areas in the field of development communication, digital media, electronic media, and journalism and mass communication program. And all these 4 programs are available in distance mode. 2 programs are available in online mode, development communication